Okay, so we're going to start working a little bit on implementing the maps for the game. For that, I'm going to start by committing old work. This is stuff I've been working on for the minimap, so I'm going to create a new branch for the map. Okay. So what we want to do then here is to make sure that we have a runtime state that we can use to tell the game that we are showing or not showing the map. And then have in the renderer part, we want to implement the logic for rendering the map itself. So let's begin by creating the runtime part, which is very, very simple. I'm just going to create a new file here, and I will copy some of the boilerplate code that we need for this. So mostly a plugin, implementation of the plugin. We'll need a state, so I'm going to copy this over as well. And rename everything. There we go. We don't need this. Okay. So instead of tile, I'm going to call this map. I'm going to have an event handler similar. Yeah. I'm wondering if we should have an event handler for this. I don't think we'll need that, but let's not do it yet. Let's see. Okay, so let me. So the first part that the first thing we wanna do is first of all fix this, the casing for this. So I mostly wanna know if the map is open or not. Like it will be just a boolean saying if it is open or not. And then the other, so I want to set up a system that will only run if we are in the explore state. That will be toggle map. And here, what we want to do is we will set up, I'm going to create a test for this. And the test will say if the show map event no. So you know what? I'm gonna bring the branch that Pablo has been working on, which has the input system in it, because the one I'm working on doesn't have it. So I'm gonna bring that in. I'm gonna squash it here. Let me. I'm gonna bring everything from that branch locally, and I'm gonna squash it. Oops. In the game map. So that I have access to all that logic. Then I can revert this if I need it, or rebase it, whatever. So let's do that. Okay, so button. Okay, so yeah, here we have input. The input struct has. Let me see how he implemented this. So set button, okay, input default, input that interacts, set state, button state pressed. Okay, cool, fantastic. So I'm gonna do a map button, so that I can use it in a system here and query if we are pressing the map button or not, and then I will bind it in the renderer, but we don't care too much about that just yet. So in the map itself, I'm gonna create a function, a test function, saying if map input is pressed, open map, and another function that I want to test is, and let's change the name. So if closed and input map pressed, open map. If open and map, and map input is pressed, close map. So there we go. The idea is that these two functions will test the fact that if I press the input for map, it will open it or toggle it basically every time I press. So for example, if I set it up to use the M key, we will open and close it using that M key. So let's begin with that. Oh, I'm noticing that the screen is a little bit, it's being resized weirdly. There we go. Yeah, I think that's better. The text is probably smaller, so I can get the text a little bit bigger. Let's see. So I'm gonna start working on this. So the way you test functions like this in Bevy is by basically creating, let me find the tile. So by creating a bare bones application and setting it up with whatever you need for it to work. So let's do this. Let's create the app. Then we are going to add, sorry, it's insert plugin, is it? I always forget the add plugins. Yeah, every single function has a different name, so So it's the map plugin, which is, yep, like that. Here, like that. Whoops, not map. I would also have to make that map, so the plugin, no, I don't have to make it default, add the default trait. So I will start by adding this plugin and run all the tests continuously. So yeah, so all the tests are passing. Obviously, if I do an assert false here, it will fail. And the, whoops, it should, oh, it is not failing because we need to include the map module, right? So I'm doing that, and then I'm going to actually make this like this. So map plugin. So I'm now including the plugin in the application, and we are now seeing errors, which is fine. Okay. So yeah, we need to add a bunch of external things. We don't have a startup system yet. I don't think we'll probably not even need it. So I'm gonna just add all the things that the compiler is complaining about. So okay, this is still something we don't have. So I'm gonna comment it out, and for now it's just going to be inserting the resource. I just want to get it compiling, yeah, and failing. Good. So that's it. So the next step is to get the actual test written, right? So the important part for this is I want to know that if I set the input to be something that I want, something specific, it will open and close the map, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a system here that will be run in the update and will be called like open map, example, whatever. That system is just a function, and this function will expect the input. Let me see what the name of the, it's not this, change to interact. So this is, so I want to receive the input resource here. So that's why I'm basically including it like this. And what it will do is it will say input dot map. Why is it not liking that? Let me see. It's public, it's a button. Well, it is liking it. Input.map. And what was the interface for this? For the buttons? Set state. Set state, button state. no, it's not Bevy. It's button state from input. So that one, pressed. Okay. So this is what we want. We want this function to let the input resource to know that the input state, basically, to know that we want to open the map. Okay, so I mark it as pressed. And by adding this system, I'm making sure that when I run the update, I'll basically run this piece of code. So one way to notice that is, just add a panic call. We need to add all the, so here it needs the preload, not just the app. So with that, and this is calling runtime input. So it's great. Runtime input, probably. Okay, there we go. Input. Why is it not? Oh, because of the panic. Yeah. It will complain about the mod. Yeah. Okay. So let's see what happens. Yeah. So it panicked here. So this looks like what it should be. Oh, encounter the panic. Let's run just the system. Okay, encounter panic in system. Okay, so this is sad. The way errors show up, well, in this case it's showing it, right? It's telling me that the input resource does not exist. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the plugins for input as well. Let me see, input, and hopefully by doing that, this will input default. Do I need to do that? No. Oh, input plugin. There we go. Input, and what it cares about the plugin, not this. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, assertion failed because it got to false here. Okay. So, in theory, now the input should be set to button pressed, right? But the important part is that I want to test is not that this got set to pressed, because that I'm assuming is tested in the input part. But I also want another system test map open. Or, I mean, I can probably just use direct access to the world, right? To check for that. I think that's, yeah. So if I do this, app, assert app world resource. So let's check it with the input. use input. I don't know if this will, yeah, that's okay. Input dot map state get state equals to button state pressed. So first of all, let's check that this is actually running, right? So the way we do that is by directly accessing the world and setting the state and checking the state. So that worked, right? So if I don't add this, I should get an error. Yes, so it's waiting for it to be pressed and it's not pressed. So the next thing would be then to get this thing checking that get state. Yeah, so checking that the actual map is opening in the state, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look for map state, and map state, I want to know that open is true. So I'm gonna assert directly that the map state is open, right? And this will obviously be false right now. Okay, so this is panicking because it's not finding the map state resource, okay? So that should be one of the first things we do here. Oh, but we are doing it. So, what is it saying then? Assertion failed. Oh, okay, what? Yeah, no, it says assertion failed. Yeah, it's not open. So now we'll do this. We'll do the toggle, at least the open part of the toggle. So I'm gonna implement, sorry, not implement, function toggle map. And what we want in the toggle map is to receive the input, right? We will check that input is pressed. And we will now say mut state resmut map state. And yeah, we want to include the input. This will be input. Let me add this. Oh, missing this. Okay. So what we'll do is if input map get state equals pressed, button state pressed. So if we have the button being pressed, state.open equals not state.open. This will effectively toggle this whenever we click it. So whenever we open it. So let's see, a panic. What's the panic? Yeah, we don't need this to be mutable for sure. Okay, so map state input So we are adding the map state, we're adding the toggle. I'm wondering where the is it because of this? Let me see. I don't think this is why. So this is this should be working. Let's do the following. Let's add some code to set up the input correctly. So interact, plane movement, map toggle. So this is the renderer. I'm gonna check what's going on by running this code in the actual game instead of just tests, because sometimes it's yeah, you get errors like this, encounter the panic, without like any any details as to where this happened or why. So yeah, I'm gonna set everything up for this. So map toggle, if keys m, let's say input.map set state button pressed, else or well, yeah, if just released, Giga is released. The bad thing about this, else, I think I want to set the state to not pressed if it was not pressed, and then the release is fine. Else if, yeah, maybe let's do it like this. Okay, there we go. So basically, if I'm pressing M, I just pressed M, it will set it as pressed. If I just released M, not E, it will set it as released. And otherwise, so if I'm still maintaining it or not even pressing it, I will set it as not pressed. Okay, so let's run let's run the game itself. Okay, that worked. It's saying pressed. Okay, so Pablo did this nicely, and but what happened if I don't do that? Now, I think I'm gonna keep it like this, so that I don't have to check both the current frame and the previous frame all the time. So I'm gonna just set it as that. Okay. So I know that this is being set correctly now. So I'm gonna search for this because I don't want the console to be spammed because of that. But it was nice to have that to test that this was working. So now I'm gonna hope that if I press M here, the map is going to switch. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna debug that right now. So state, sorry, map state, and I'm gonna debug the map state. Okay, there we go. So I hope that every time I press the button, I see, yeah, a line saying open true, open false, open true, open false. So this is working already. But for some reason, the test was dying. I'm wondering, what is the test missing that it's panicking, right? So let's try and take a look. What is it that we're missing? So maybe I should just, am I adding the full plugin in the map? Yeah, I'm adding the input plugin. Input plugin will add the input and the update buttons. Input.interact post update. What is this? Post update. Self. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to be having to do that every single time for all the buttons. So we'll have to do something about that later on. Okay. Hey Lumsila, it keeps data from the previous frame to automatically set it as not press. Yeah, so yeah, cool. That's great. I noticed that, and I just saw the post update here. So the only thing is that this is what it's called a maintenance. I don't remember the technical name for that, but basically the fact that we need to keep this function with every single input that we add is, something we will very likely forget about. So I'm wondering if we want to do something about this that uses, I don't know, some sort of reflection method or something to know that we want to update all of these. But again, but it's fine. I mean, I will use this now. So it will be input.map.post update, right? I should do that. So instead of having this logic here for the, where is it? The input, I will just use this, set it as pressed, and else set it as, yeah, just that, right? I will remove the other thing. So this is how you were expecting to do that, right, Pablo? Which is fine. It's totally fine. Yeah, I know. We used to have a hash map for each one of these, but it was too dynamic, and we were not able to use the typing system very well for that. So yeah, we'll see. I don't really care too much about that right now. But I mean, I'm guessing this is fine, right? If I run the game, and I press M, yeah, it's still working. Fantastic. Yeah, sounds good. I mean, it's mostly being diligent and not forget about this, adding this thing. So you know what? What we can do, which is an easy fix to this problem, is adding a comment here somewhere. We can say, make sure to include all buttons in the update buttons method below, or something. And actually, I'm gonna put it here so that it's very, very, very noticeable. And I'm also gonna add, whoops, to do Fran, think about not needing to add this. There we go. Whatever, we can move on. So that's it. That's the, I mean, just open and closing, the state for open and closing the map. That should be enough. So I'm still wondering why the test is failing. So let's give a few minutes to fixing that, or trying to. Oh, is it? No, I don't think so. I don't think that's because I'm adding this before, or is it? Is it because I'm adding that method before all the stuff is included? No, but at least now I got a better message, right? What? Oh, okay. So it's because of the game state, because I'm telling this to run the, yeah, instead of adding the plugin, so input is not using any state, right? Or is it? No, it's not. That's good. Yeah. So one thing we could do is to add all the states here. Pretty much like what we do in the application itself. I think it's here. Runtime, add state, game state. So let's try that. So if we added the game state, and then, whoop, oh, that was it. Oh no, I'm not running the assertion. Yeah, I still need to set this in the right state. So, press held. Why is it being considered held? Pressed. It's because of that? No? Okay. Is this running multiple times for some reason? Map plugin, input plugin. Why is it considered? Wait, this is so weird. It should be pressed, not held. Am I doing something wrong in the update? Held. Just pressed, otherwise released. But I'm not using that, so I'm using just this, right? Okay, but let's see. I don't care too much about this. I care more about this. What does it say? Panicked. Assertion failed. Okay, so the fact that the game state is not the right one is what's causing problems here. So instead of adding the plugin like that, I'm going just to, insert the resource manually and add the system manually as well, but I will not add the requirement to run it in a specific game state. So I'm simplifying the logic behind this here. So this is like that, right? So open map, I add the system, I add the input plugin, I add the system, I add the state and the other system. Let's just keep it like that. Okay. Toggle map. Now I need to make this public, which is not great because or do I? No, maybe I don't need it to be. Let me see. If I do toggle map, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't need it to. Yeah, I just include it like that, and since it's the same module, just works. Okay. So this is not needed. The game state is not needed anymore. Fantastic. Okay. Anyone in the chat? No. Good. Okay, what happened? Panicked. Assertion failed. Open. Now, what's the problem with this? So it's not showing up as pressed. That's the reason why. So is it calling it multiple times? But I'm just doing one update. Okay, there is another way to do this, which is not adding a system at all, but setting so if instead of running the plugin at all, yeah, I will just add the resource. So I'm not going to do the update buttons at all. I'm just going to insert the resource for input, and I'm gonna grab it, right? And I'm gonna say input dot map dot set state button state rest. And then, well, this is redundant, and then I'll run the update, and I'm gonna make sure that this works. So cannot borrow as mutable. Do I need to call resource mut? Yeah, resource mutable. Okay, there we go. Well, this is nice, because the fact that you don't have to set all the system up and depend on all that stuff, just the part that you need, I think that's nice. It makes the test nicer. So yeah, that's good. Okay, so we tested that this worked, and interestingly, if I run the update again, I can do this test that I wanted to do here, just here. So test open, and then test close, right? Because, oops. So now if I save this, it should fail the test, hopefully. Yeah, because this is actually not true. So if I invert it, the test will be fine. Okay. So this is the runtime part of opening and closing the map. Now we want to render it. And for that, right now, we don't have the testing solved. As you can see, I'm not testing anything in the renderer right now because of a small problem we have with the asset collections and whatnot. So I'm gonna not test that for now. And I will spend some time at some point trying to fix that that fact that I don't really have a good way of loading the assets in the tests, but I don't know. I'll find a way. Just not now. So let's try and get the map up and running. Oops. So I'm going to add the map first of all. Then I'm going to add the map plugin, which doesn't exist at the moment, but it will soon. And I'm gonna copy the boilerplate code that we need for that. So first of all, Bevy's this and this. Okay. Map plugin. We need this method. Okay, so I guess this is enough. Okay. I'm wondering if we want to have a specific state, game state, for when we are showing them up. I'm not gonna do that now, but it might be something we do in the future. So let's begin by thinking, what is it that we want? So overall, this is going to be very, very similar to the minimap. Probably what we will change, the only thing we will change is which assets we use and like the limits that we use for this. So I'm gonna just copy and paste this. I'm wondering if, oh no, okay, let's build it from scratch so that we have all the content there. Okay. So first of all, I don't know if I'm gonna do it exactly the same, because these are going to be quite a few tiles. So I'm wondering if the performance will be problematic if I do it the same way, because the minimap right now is basically removing and adding all the assets constantly. Like it's not swapping which asset is showing, which is what I should do actually, but I'm just removing the whole map and creating it again. It's not ideal, not great, but it is what it is. So let's add. So what is it that I'm adding in the startup system here? Oh, just the background, because it's always visible. Okay, I'm gonna start by just doing the worst thing I can do, which is adding and removing everything all the time and fragmenting the memory like a maniac. Okay, let's do this. So first of all, let's make sure that this is working. Okay, so game state, it needs that. So if you notice that I rewrite things like that, is because my IDE, well, not IDE, my editor has some useful tricks where you start writing and it will set up whatever you require as soon as you hit return. So that's why sometimes I just rewrite stuff. Okay, so let's run the actual. It should say test all the time here. Yep. Cool. So we know this is working. Okay, so we are running this method, this system. Now, the thing I created, which was this, in the runtime, I mean the map state, is just to know if this is open or not. So if basically state dot open, right? Map state, is it like that? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's I need that. If the map is open, let's check that here. Whoops. Okay. So right now we'll probably, we won't see anything unless we hit M, in which case we will notice. And when we stop, there we go. And there you see. Okay, so that's working. So if this is open, the first thing I want to do is I want to add the background. So I'm going to bring the commands. So I'm going to bring the commands in and start adding things. So I'm going to spawn the sprite bundle, which is the one that takes care of rendering sprites, texture. And here's the thing. We are using, and this is the reason why I cannot add easy tests here. We are using a crate called Bevy asset loader, which allows you to create basically asset sets where you can reference them fairly easy through this and through a struct, and it has some convenient methods to create loading screens. So that's why we are using it mostly. So I'm gonna do all the boilerplate that is required to create assets, asset groups, asset collections it's called, sorry. Asset collections. So I'm gonna do all the stuff that is required to achieve that. So the first part is I think I already have the assets here. Let me see. What is minimap 2? Oh, actually I don't. So I thought I had the assets for this, but I just have the ones for the minimap. So I'm gonna look for those assets. I still think it was somewhere here. So let me do a quick search. Okay. I'm gonna have to take a look real quick and find those. Sorry about that. So I know Huli sent them the other day. So I'm gonna search for his files. Okay, here it is. Map. Okay. Here we go. So Hidden People Club. What's assets? Sorry about this. There we go. So now here we now have all the stuff that we need for the map. Actually, I need to talk to Juliet when he's back, because I don't know what this were for. So map 3. Okay, so here's all the different tiles that we need to render this map. Okay, I'm gonna start by creating a asset collection file, which is one of these. So I have the one for the minimap here. I'm gonna just copy and paste this because it's mostly the same. So this is gonna be called map.assets.run. And instead of calling this minimap, I'm just gonna call this map. Okay. Map shadow, it's map.png, map shadow. The arrows, we're not gonna care about that right now. East, west. Okay, yeah, so this is good. Okay. So the first step is creating this file called whatever you want to call the asset collection.assets.run. The second part would be to create the asset collection struct itself. So I'm gonna go to minimap, and again, since this is mostly the same, I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna explain what this is. There we go. So basically this is just a struct, and for each of the keys of the struct you have to set a one-to-one relationship basically with one of these. So for example, the background, it says it's an image, and it will search for it in this key. So right now this is minimap, but we don't want to use the minimap ones. We want the map ones actually, right? Because it's the ones that we just changed. So this is good. The next step, so I remember that I had this method here that I use. So I use this. I will need this too. So it's basically a method where I can pass a tile that we use to define the tiles in the map and return the image for that tile. So I'm gonna just leave that here as well. I'm gonna add the things that are required for this. There is also, yeah, no, assets. So I think I need this here and the map. So Bevy prelude, this. Okay. So this assets here, it should be an instance of this. So the way we get that is basically by adding, asking for the resource. So the asset loader will automatically define these resources when you create the asset loader base. Sorry, the loading screen state. So in the loading screen itself, now I need to actually add the proper I mean, I need to load the assets themselves. So add map, dynamic collection, the name was map.asset, and this is map assets. And I need to use super map. Okay. I'm guessing that that's all I need to show the background. Yay! There we go. Okay. So we have the background. Now, the other thing I want is a in order to remove the map, if I close it, I need to add a component called map. So I'm gonna do the following component. Derive component. I think that's how you do it. Struct map. There we go. What is it that failed? Remove the extra argument. Map. How am I doing this in the minimap? Is this wrong? What is it saying? Remove extra argument and expected sprite bundle. Oh, am I? Shoot. Yeah. So I need to turn this into a tuple in order to render multiple. Sorry, not render. Add multiple. Whatever. I don't like this indentation. Who sent me to create this indentation? There. And actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Now I like it. Programmer problems. So there we go. Now, the fact that I have this allows me to do something similar to what I did before in the minimap to remove the minimap itself. So see how I created a query to search for the map? So it's basically the same thing. So I create a query to look for the map, right? Then I just use that query to get the map itself. Single mute minimap despawn recursive, but it is not called minimap, it's called map. Oh wait, no. Ugh. I will probably need to do it like this. I don't know if this will fail. Like, if I get a single mutable like that and it's not open, yeah, it will panic. Or let's do it like this. So if there is an actual, right? Not into, I guess that's it. Okay, so if there are maps, I remove them if the map is not open. There we go. So map open, map close, map open, map close. Cool. I could just change it, but yeah, no, let's not do that. So for now, this is more than fine. Okay. Now I want to open I want to create the children of that map. So each cell, right? So in order to do that, I'm gonna just spawn. So I'm gonna use the center. Whoops, is this live? There we go. This is working, yeah. So I'm gonna use the center of this. The center of the map will be the tile you're in, kind of like what I did in the minimap. Okay, so in order to get that, I have to use my tile state. Yeah, so I need the tile state. So tile state, I don't want to change it. I just want to read it, so it's not mutable. And I'm gonna say tile state dot position. I think is well, I need to do this. Let center equals tile state dot position, right? So this vector 2 is going to be what I have in the center. So I probably did the same here. Let me check. Okay, so it has the background shadow. I don't care about that right now. I'm gonna add it later on. It has April, which I can add or can not add. And yeah, I did this. So let's copy this and analyze it. It's fairly simple. So I create a range from the center. So in this case is 2 tiles to the left and 2 tiles to the right. So this is basically what I have here, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. I do this for all of the values in x and y. So that's why it will create a square, right? And then what I do is I add this position with y inverted, because the 0, 0 in my so the way I represent the maps is with the 0, 0 in the bottom left, and now I'm inverting it for it to be in the top. So that's why the y is inverted. So the current position, the center, I shift from the center by whatever amount of tiles I want to render. And then I just render them. So let's see if this thing works as is. So root, this will be map. Okay, so I'm no. Okay, let me add that. Whoa. Okay, yeah. This is, yeah, this is interesting. This is I should check that there is no map in order to do that. If there is a map, I want to quit, because I was adding all of those things every single time I was opening the map. Okay, so there we go. It's not rendering very well. Like, this should have at least, yeah, it's not rendering correctly. Let's see why. Oh, now it worked. That's so broken. Oh, is it? Are these twice as big as the other ones? Oh yeah, that's why. So these are bigger than the other ones. Okay, so this is, so those tiles, I need to, so this is the logic that places the tiles, and they were, yeah, there we go. Well, this is too big. Was the concept art using something that was this big, or am I doing something wrong? Because we want them to be half of that size, I guess. Right? I'm gonna look for the concept art real quick, just to see if they were that big. I mean, from a design standpoint, I want to show more than that. So I'm probably going to scale them down now. I cannot find the... Okay. So here it is. Yeah, no. This is way smaller. It's half the size. Okay. So I'm going to scale them down. With scale, basically 0.5 everywhere else, everywhere. What? There we go. Okay. Okay, this is better, and obviously now I need to revert this back to 100 because now the size is 100. Okay. Nice. Okay, so what I know now is that this is very small. So I don't know how many we wanted, but let me check the concept art to see. Oh shoot, I closed it. I should have kept it open. Let me see, blah blah blah. But whatever. I mean, I can just do this like 9, sorry, 10, 11, 10, 11. I don't know how many will fit. And I'm still not sure how many we want from a design standpoint. This is certainly not how many we want. So 8, 9, 8, 9. Yeah, I don't know how many we actually want. Well, I guess that's the area that we have now. Okay. So, the next thing is I'm gonna rotate it to match the rotation that we wanted. So sprite bundle transform. No, this is okay. So I need to just set the rotation to the parent, and that should be it. Transform from rotation quad from rotation Z yeah, I'm gonna move the rotation here as well. I mean, I'm doing this fairly fast because there is nothing really very interesting unless you ask for it. There we go. So now it should rotate the map. There we go. So yeah, we have a map. So the only thing I think I want is for this map to kind of not allow you to move. So we want to make sure that we are not showing the map state in the input when we are moving. So if I don't want to be able to change tiles if the map state, if the map is open. So I'm gonna say if not maps, I can say just map open. And you know, right now this is what we are using to move the tiles. Later on it will be the character moving around. So what we will do is we will prevent the character from move if the map is open, right? There you go. Hey Valen, welcome. For those who don't know Valen, he was a good member that now is rocking it around the world. I don't know where you're working on right now, Valen, but I know you're probably somewhere far or going far. So there we go. We have a map, right? And now if I try to move while the map is open, I cannot. Nice. So I'm gonna add the character here as well. So I'm gonna reuse this April in here. I think, yeah, we have April as well. So I'm gonna reuse the asset there, and I'm gonna render it where is it? Oh, yeah, here it is. So I will just render this red representation of April here after the loop. Here we go. So what I do here is I render this asset and I invert. So I set the Z to 101 for it to be on top of this, right? But at the same time, I derotate it because since I'm rotating this, if I keep the rotation, the asset will remain rotated. So I can actually show that for least. So if I do this, you know, just position it and not rotate it. When I open it, it will show up like that. So now, if I rotate it, and I actually want to do it with scale as well, vec3 new 0.5, 0.5, I guess. Yeah. No comment there. Whoops. It opened here. Okay. There we go. Our map is ready. So I can now look in the... Whoa. This is jumping very fast across. Why is it doing that? If not map open, just press. So is it firing this multiple times? Go south. Although I press it just once. Huh. I'm wondering why that's doing that. Still, what I could do is to use the input. Well, it's the same thing, right? So I don't think this will change. I'm wondering why this is being called multiple times. North. Yeah, it's always calling it twice. I mean, is it? I don't think it's related to this, right? It shouldn't be related to the fact that I added that. I hope. Because that wouldn't make any sense. So let's see. No, yeah, it's being called twice. I didn't notice it before because since I was starting here and heading north twice, it will just hit this. But here you see that it jumps too. Yeah. Ho ho ho. Why would that be the case? Central. Oh, am I adding this multiple times? Yes, I'm adding it multiple times. Let's add it here only. There we go. Okay, nice. So we have our minimap, we have our map. Whoops, I forgot to add this. Okay. Okay, nice. Well, this is cool. We have our this. Let me see. So I'm wondering what I can be doing next, because this is what I had, what I had planned. It was easier than I expected because I had all the minimap already. So I'm guessing, you know, all the code from the minimap basically turned into the same thing here. I'm wondering if I should try to hit my head against the problem of testing these things, which is gonna be probably very boring and whatnot. Or keep working on other things. So if there's still anyone in there and want to suggest what I do, that would be really helpful. But otherwise, there are other things that I would like, but they are for sure bigger than the time I have. So one of them is adding the ability to connect, to basically have multiple maps and connect them to create a bigger map. That's something I want to do to easily manage the creation of the whole labyrinth, the whole map. Because I can create, a map for a specific area and then connect all of them through like a meta map that will connect them. That would be one idea. And the other one is just fight our heads against the testing thing. I don't know. I think I need a restroom break. And I will be back soon and I'll think about what to do next. So, see you soon. Okay, we're back. Well, first of all, thank you everyone for joining. I know there is some people from La Tierra Madre. So the next steps will be to get all of this in GitHub. So I'm gonna be committing added map functionality. I'm gonna push this, and then I'm gonna create a pull request. And it's interesting to show you what we have in place here. So game map implementation. So we have some automatic checks that will very likely fail. I'm gonna create this pull request against the minimap branch because why is it not? Sorry, minimap. Okay, there we go. Check this. Okay. What has the input? So this will likely fail. And the reason is I have not run Rust format or nor Clippy. So let's do that. Usually I just let sorry, I'm in the minimap. Well, actually, let's run it in the minimap first. So I'm gonna go to the minimap pull request and take a look at why everything is failing. So let's first run the FMT cargo format. So this is cargo format is an application that helps with maintaining some formatting standards, if you want. And I have set it up so that it has it uses 80 lines, which is what I use, so that I have reasonable amount of area here. So right now I'm using less because this is pretty huge, but I usually code with this at this level. And actually it would be good to, I will go back to the stream later and see if this is readable, because if it is, I'd rather have that. So if there is anyone there that can tell me actually if this is readable, I will very much appreciate it. That I want to know if this text is readable or not, or is it better to have it like that? So yeah, let's Rust FMT fixes. Okay, thanks, Pablo. So I'm gonna keep it there then, so that it is what I need. Okay, so I just added the FMT fixes, which should fix the first. So one of these actions, where is it? This one should now pass. but it's not passing. So why is, so probably there is another. Oh, did I run out of, oh shoot. I think I ran out of actions, like the free GitHub actions. Yeah, no, not today. So I actually have a mini computer here that I have to set up so that this doesn't happen anymore, because we don't have, like, I just wanted to run all these tests in a local computer so that we don't have to rely on GitHub's infrastructure for this. So sadly, I will not be able to show this now. Well, I will fix this in the next stream then, and maybe the next stream is me setting up the other computer so that this works correctly. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the game map then, and I'll try to implement the tests. I decided that I want to give a, attempt that a little bit. So the main issue for the tests, let's try to create a test and let's see where it fails. So I will go to the map and I'm gonna create all the boilerplate very quickly to be able to write tests. Test, oops, test fn. So I wanna make sure that when map is open, we find the map entity, right? That's the first thing I would like to try. And for that to work, and this is where I got stuck the other day. I didn't, so I wanted to move fast, so that's why I didn't do much. But oops, this is so. So we have the app. We want to, so this is, I'm copying and pasting some of the code that we had in the test we did in the runtime, because it is basically the same. Like, I want to open it, and the way I'm opening it here is by, well, I could use this, right? I could set this to open, and that should do it. So if it is open, right? If I set this equal true, right? Let's add that. Why is it? Okay, if I set it to true, well, let me load this. So why is it not? Oh, because it's resource mat. I need to do that. Yeah. So when it's requested resource map, but it doesn't exist. Okay, so I need to add that. Insert resource, map state default. So we want to add the resource and then set it. Okay. So now we want to add the system that we want to test, right? We want to test the update system. So I'm gonna say add systems update, right? Oops, systems, not system, blah. There we go. And this update is actually this. Whoops. Update. There we go. So I need to do super update. Okay. So this is the system that we want to test. And what we want to do is we want to assert that app world query, we can ask for entities with, well, basically it's you know, it's the same that I was using in the update, right? It's this. I want to check that this exists, right? It's, whoops. So it's entity and the reference to the map. I think it's that. Render map. Yeah, it's this component. Okay. Single world. No. What am I missing here? Okay, cannot apply inner operator ban. What? I don't know what I'm doing here. So apply app world. I don't know if the query is meant to be done like that. So let me search for iter. Oh, okay. Well, but I think it should be fine if I use single and then the world. Okay, let map equal this. And oh, the problem is that this is returning like map and something else, map. Yeah, whatever. I mean, is there anything to, I mean, I'm guessing, I'm wondering if I should just leave like assert true here, because this will fail miserably if and this has to be a reference, right? Or not? If not open. What is the error? Oh, not found. Oh, shoot. Okay, it's app.world. It should, yeah, it's just a reference. this is throwing a warning, which we don't want many of. Okay, so panicked, cold, result unwrap on an error value, no entities. Okay, yeah, this is what I want. So map, a map here. So if I set this to true and now I run app.update, this will probably very likely crash. Yep, right? It crashed. And it's not giving us many clues as to why it crashed, but I know more or less why. So the reason is that it's not being able to find all the things that we have here. Okay. So we should support all of this. So I'm wondering if I add the resource, so map state, I added, right? So tile state, it's another one that we want, right? It's here, so it's this, we have this, and then there's this, which is, insert resource, assets, and the problem is that I don't have like a way to construct, an easy way to construct this asset, this. So what if I add default there and I don't really care about the asset itself? Let me see. So this would be default, but I don't know if handle image has default. That's the problem. But let's assume it does. Yeah, sorry. So if I add assets default, tile state, added it, use super assets and update. So I'm adding all the requirements here, so that worked. Did that actually work? Did I just test it that the entity was created? So let's do the update. So I'm running the update and I'm not adding the map. Yeah, it worked. Okay, cool. So, okay. So I could probably just create a manual handle, because I could even test. Well, that was easy. That was easier than I expected. So the problem I had before is that I was not sure what to do with this. Since this is being added automatically in the loading screen when I do add dynamic collection, add collection to loading state and then this, and this. I thought I would have to actually run the loading, load the assets, whatever, but if I don't need to actually access the assets, it would not be, that's not a problem, right? So let's do something. I want to see if I can debug what's in the assets during Okay, so formatted, so default, debug, there we go. So I want to see what we have there. So it's not showing. What if I panic after that? Or if I panic by just rendering the assets. Let's see. This is so shitty. Encounter the panicking system, and it's not saying anything about the panic itself. That's terrible. Pablo, we should definitely try to do a pull request on Bevy to solve this. This is terrible. The fact that it's not letting me know what this is. Because I wanted to see what's inside of this. So I can probably do it outside of the system now that I think about it, because I could probably just do resource here, assets. I could probably just do that and debug here. I don't know if I can do that. Well, panic. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so all of these handles that are created automatically are very likely to just be a null handle, and all of them be the same. Yeah, so the ID, they all have the same ID. I'm wondering if I can, like, because I would like to test, for example, that the sprite bundle here, right, the sprite bundle for the map has the image in the that we have in the background. So let's try to create a test for that. So I'm gonna remove this from here, and I'm gonna do the following. When map is open, we render the background. Okay, so the thing would be to app world get not get world resource mut. So I want to get the assets, right? And the assets should, they don't have this public. So I'm gonna make this public, because otherwise I would, well, I can create it though. So what if I set it to something? I don't know if I can do that. Let me see. What does this return? Can I set a resource? World dot. Well, what I can do is instead of doing default like this, I can just do the following. So assets dot background would be some handle. I don't know how to create that, but it's, you know, handle of image. I will see how to create that, and then default, right? So I'm wondering, how can I create this, or what a handle is actually. So let's go to the definition. So handle T has to be an asset, has an ID, handle ID. Okay. Oof. Okay, weak handle ID. Okay. Can I set the ID like that? Okay, let me see. So this would be handle image new, like that? No, not new. Weak. ID or handle. I guess it could already know what it is. So if I, so what's this ID? It's a from, no, so for handle random. Okay, I can create that randomly. Nice. So let's do that. Let's do let random or background ID equals handle weak ID handle ID random. Okay, does that work? What did I do wrong? Ah, shoot, this is like that. Okay, so weak background ID, does that work? No, same thing. What am I doing? Suddenly I'm using name parameters from Ruby. Changing languages is hard. Okay, background ID. So it's waiting for a handle. Oh, what? I can just do handle. Oh, because I'm already doing, yeah. So background, I'm just calling this background, and I'm going to set background to that. Okay. Oh, cannot infer type of parameter T. So random to do image like that. Hopefully that will work. Yes. So it was complaining that it didn't know what to use to create this. Why is this red? I don't know. Okay. So the interesting thing is that now I can do the following. I know I'm creating a sprite bundle, right? So if I check the definition for the sprite bundle, it has a texture, but I don't know exactly what the entity has. So I'm gonna run the game, and I'm gonna inspect what the sprite bundle creates in terms of entities. So I'm gonna create the map, and yeah, probably entity. So it has a sprite. This is interesting. I don't really understand what this is saying. So it's saying that it has, so handle of image is actually a component. Is that what it's saying? I think so, because global transform handle image. So is handle a component? Oh, it is. Nice. Thanks, Pablo. I was not expecting that. It's it's actually kind of weird that just but it's fine. Okay, but it's cool because I now can just query for, like, I don't care about the entity, right? I care that there is a component called map, and then that component has a handle of image, right? So then I don't care about the map itself, but I do care about the image. And I want to compare that the image equals background, right? I don't know. Will this work? Oh, assert EQ. Assert EQ. Nope. Well, maybe I need to fix if it's a reference or something like that. Let me. Yeah. So the first one, so the image is a reference and the other one is not. So it's just that I need to turn this into a reference, and it will compare both. Okay, so I'm moving it here, so I can, here I can just clone it, right? I don't know if, I don't know if that's clonable. So, oh yeah, it worked. Woohoo! What? Does that work? No, it does not. Yeah. Okay. This is interesting. I think we solved how to test the rendering. That's nice. Pablo, I know you're there. Is there anything I'm missing that would be worth exploring? I think we can pretty much test everything. I mean, unless there is some weird thing that, but for this system, I can test all of this. I can test that the map is rendering the right tile. I don't think I'll do that now because I'm fairly tired of doing this. But I think we solved the major problem I had with testing. So I'm gonna push this. Let me check what we have here. So I added the default debug, all that stuff to the, yeah, and the tests. So it's pretty much that. Okay. So implemented tests for map rendering. Well, not all of them. Some tests. Cool. Let's run the game. See where it is. So today we managed to add the map that is correctly showing all the tiles that you visited, and the ones that you did not visit, it's not showing them correctly. I mean, it's blurring them with the fog of war. We are not able to move while the map is rendering. And yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day and be happy that we also solved the testing questions that we had. And now we know how to actually test the renderer. So probably next time I'm gonna spend some time adding tests to the minimap and to the map. I might make the map and the minimap render using the same assets, because it feels weird that we have separate, different types of assets. I also want to hide or I don't know if hide, but maybe make this translucent or something. So reduce the alpha when this one is open. So yeah, there are a bunch of things that we can do before we move into the next steps. So yeah, probably tests, and it will take some time to get all that tested. So yeah, I probably will do that. We'll do that on Thursday. So I'm gonna end this stream now, and thanks everyone who joined, and you're more than welcome to be back on Thursday. So the schedule is available on Twitch. So yeah, thanks everyone, and yeah, see you on Thursday. Have a good one. Bye.